Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. So y'all know that June is wealth building month, and I'm gonna go over a couple of things that I've learned. I've been following Dave Ramsey, and it's been really working for us. We're on a debt-free journey, and these kind of simple, tried and true are the only way to really build wealth. And let's get into this. So number one is saving money. So when you save money, it actually sets yourself up for any emergencies, and it actually can be your buying power to save up for things for the future. I know a lot of people, when they think of wealth building, they think of get rich quick schemes. How do I make $50 into 5,000? Guys, there is no get rich quick scheme out there, unless you play the stocks and you get lucky. But if you're diligent with your money and you create your own wealth, honestly, simple everyday things that you can do. And guys, there are everyday millionaires out there that use this system of Dave Ramsey's. He's been making millionaires out of people for almost 25 years now. He's been trying to help people so they don't make the same mistakes that he makes. But honestly, there are no quick get rich schemes. There really isn't, and I attest to that. There's nothing in this world, unless you win the lottery and is one in 100 billion chances or whatever. So we're gonna go over these 7 things that I use to help with building wealth, and let's get into this. So number one, like I said, is saving money. Being disciplined, save your own money. Stop trying to get rich off of the little money that you do have. And if you're spending everything that you earn, now is the time to start even if you save $5 or $10 out of your check every week. Now, I don't recommend having your savings attached to your checking account because it's so easy to just transfer money and dip into it. And that's one of the mistakes that we found, is that we think it's accessible. So we have to have in our brick and mortar bank, $300 minimum at all time in to keep that savings account open. So anything above that, it makes you think that it's kind of free money. So I don't recommend having your savings account where you do your checking. I do recommend opening a separate savings account at a different bank and actually physically going to that bank and putting $5 or $10 in every week after you get paid. I mean, if you buy cigarettes, vape, or buy coffees, think of it as a venti caramel, macchiato is almost $6 now. So saving $5, once you get in the habit of doing it, it becomes very easy, and you'll actually find ways to add to that $5. So start slow and low and add to it as you can, and make it a game, make it fun. So savings is not a habit, it's a habit you have to create in order to do it. It's memory muscle, it's brain power. But if you also make it automatic, if you go to your HR department and make an automatic deposit into the separate savings account, then you don't have to worry about it, and you don't see it, and you're less likely to spend it, honestly. All right, so let's get to number 2. Number 2 is pay off debt. So honestly, with no payments, you have more money at your disposal because you don't have things going out from your paycheck, and you get to keep all that money into your pocket, and it helps you actually save more. It actually helps you budget better. And if you wanted to be a little bit frivolous and plan, little getaways and vacations, you have the power to do that. If you want to build wealth, this is the best way to do it, is because once you have no payments, all that money that you're working for can go to building wealth. And I'm telling you, with no payments, you will build wealth quickly, very quickly. You will not believe, if you're putting 10-15% in your 401ks and your Roth and like mutual funds, you will build wealth very quickly. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Just think what it would be like to have no payments. I remember when we actually paid off the Rogue, and man, that was $368. That's a lot of money when you think about it, that you're paying out every month to have that car sit in the driveway, and man, I remember when I paid my last payment. It was so exciting. But I'm just, think about all the money you have going out and what it would be like to keep that money in your bank account, put more in savings. You could do more. You can invest more. And, your biggest wealth building tool is your income. If you have all your income going out and you're saving nothing, man, that is not a really great place to be, because that means you're living above your means, and you should always be saving between 10 and 20% of your income every week. If you get paid weekly, set aside 10, 15, 20% of your income and put it in a savings account. If you're living in your parents' basement, you should be saving half of everything you earn, because you're not paying rent, you don't pay food. Now, if you have a car payment, yes, I understand you have a car payment, but if you're living in your parents' basement, you shouldn't be having a car payment. You should be able to save up money and buy a car for cash. Crazy. Cash is king, guys. Cash is, man, it lets you do so much more. All right, so the number 3, let's get it. I could be on that topic forever, paying debt off, and how much more money you would have if you would understand, if you have no payments, that money can go into savings account. All right, number 3. So use a written budget. Get on a budget. If you've never budgeted before, now's the time, because you need to tell your money what to do and plan it for your money. Because if you don't budget, you won't stick to anything, and you'll just blow every single thing that you earn every week or every 2 weeks from your income. It's like disposable money. And you'll blow everything and not pay any of your bills, and you just get farther behind. This is how you get in the hole. When you don't plan for your money and you just spend like, you're in Congress and there's no stopping you, and you think, oh, don't worry, I'll just be late next month, or I'll just skip it or catch up next month. It never happens that way. So pay your bills first, and pay yourself first. Get money into your savings. Get on a budget, because then you create discipline in your life with your money, because then you control your money instead of your money controlling you, just spending out of control, which is not fun. You need to track all your spending, no matter what it is, so that you know where your money's going. You want to make a change, you need to know what it is you're doing to change, honestly. So if it isn't, this is the thing. So what isn't measured isn't managed. Think about that. So if you have no idea where your money's going, you're never going to know where it's going because you're not tracking it. It's just, this goes out so fast. All right. Number 4 is live on less than you make. Don't live paycheck to paycheck, guys. Now, I personally am living paycheck to paycheck because we're getting out of debt. We are putting all sorts of money on debt to reach the goals that we have set for ourselves this year, and it's working pretty good so far. We got our roof fund. We have to put a new roof on, and that fundage has been reached, and now with the help of my brother, now we are on the path to pay my brother back, which should be the second week of July. That's 10 grand, and I'm ready to get that one knocked out too. I know we had holidays, so we didn't get to work as much overtime, so this week a lot will not be going into debt. So you kind of have to just juggle things and remember to keep your goals in sight. Live on less than you make, and that means if you have to sacrifice a little bit. And now a lot of people are unwilling to do that. They think that they're living this, uppity lifestyle when you've been living off your parents. You have no idea what it takes to live in this world. There's rent and groceries, and there's insurance, health insurance, there's car insurance, car repairs, you name it. Anything that could break down will break down. There's cell phone bills, oh my God, gas, electric, water, garbage, and then you still have to eat on that. Think how your parents feel, 18-year-old boy eating the fridge out. As soon as my mom would go to the grocery store, we would, see what she got in all her packages and eat what she just bought. But back then, you weren't really allowed to do that kind of thing. You ate when dinner was ready, when breakfast was ready. You didn't get to do a lot of snacking. Now, kids nowadays, they eat what they want, they eat when they want, and that's another whole topic. All right, so let's get back on this. So remember, live on less than you make, and don't live paycheck to paycheck unless you're doing it on purpose to pay debt off. All right, so number 5 is invest in 401k or Roth. And because the rate of returns, guys, proven over time, if you get between a 7 and 12% on anything, you're doing really good. Those are the rate of returns. If you're doing like mutual funds or whatever, between it's like 7.8 and 11.1 rate of return on the last 5 years is actually really pretty good, depending on what you're in or what you invest in. And you can get with a financial advisor to find out what's the best fit for you. But always invest in a 401k and a Roth. Now, one thing I don't agree with Dave Ramsey is he says stop all retirement funds. I dropped mine down to 1%. And while we're paying down debt, I don't want to miss out on any money. I'm 52, so I'm trying to play catch up. So that's why I didn't stop it completely. Now, if you're younger than I am and you have a lot of debt, I would do it because you can always catch that up. I'm at 52, so my catch up time window is very very small. I got like 12 years before retirement. So think about what your age is, where you're at, and what's best for you. I'm not going to tell you don't stop your retirement funds, but for me, because of my age, I decided to just lower them because I was doing like 8%, 7-8%, plus my employer 3% match, so that's pretty good. So I just dropped them all down. I have two. I have a 401k and a Roth through work, and then I have a high interest savings account. I dropped everything down to 1%. So there's 1% going in my 401k, 1% going into my Roth. I'm still going to get the 3% through my employer. Once we get a lot of what is on our goal list done, then I will bump them back up. We'll probably be doing 5% on each one once we get everything but the house paid off, and that's where we're at with that. And then we can start our 3 to 6 months income, our big savings, because you're supposed to start out with $1,000 emergency fund. Now I think it should be higher, because if you kind of think about it, like I just had a $2,000 car repair from the front end. I needed rotors, brakes, UV joint, a tie rod, and those are just things that you can't see until they get up under there. So I would suggest having at least, between $2,500 and $5,000. Now, it will take you a long time to get that, so don't worry. You can still pay down debt and do your savings, your emergency fund savings simultaneously. And don't think that you can't. Don't think you have to just do one at a time. We've been doing multiple things, and it works for us because I think we have two incomes, so it's better to juggle. But if you only have one income and you really want to focus on one, that's fine. Do that too, as long as you're doing it. Do it within your means. All right, and then number 6 is pay cash for cars, and don't get a loan. Don't lease something. That is the dumbest thing. A car is not an asset, people. A car is a liability. It never appreciates, it depreciates. So if you have a car payment and you're getting ready to pay that car off, what I would suggest is opening another account and put a partial car payment in that every month, so you will be saving for your next car. When just ride that one till it dies, and then you are basically funding your next car. It's great. I had to do some digging on that because I really wasn't sure how people were doing it who were debt free, and that's what they do. So don't be afraid to open multiple accounts. I've talked to people, they have in the upwards between 10 and 15 different accounts so that they can split their money, and none of them are connected because they can't transfer money and be tempted to spend that. So, and that's a really good idea. Don't be afraid to open multiple accounts at different banks to fund your car, have a house fund, college, extra savings, whatever it is, vacation. Don't be afraid to be different, out of the norm. Whatever works for one person could work for you. Some of it's really a good idea. You just need to find ideas out there and find out what can actually work for you and help you in your situation. All right, and then the last one, guys, is discipline. Discipline is a must with money. If you want to have money available to you, you must have discipline in your spending. You cannot spend everything that you make every single week and then wondering why you cannot get ahead. You have to change your thinking and you have to change your habits. So if you go out every Friday night and blow everything that you have on Friday night out at the bar, and you're expecting a different outcome come Saturday, it ain't gonna happen unless you take out a certain amount of money. You can go have a good time without blowing your whole paycheck. I mean, you don't have to buy every beer for every girl that you see or sits at your table. You can take turns doing rounds. I mean, come on, limit what you're spending if you go out, or stay at home. Buy a case of beer. It's a lot cheaper staying home. Do a fire pit. Invite people over to your house to keep you out of the bars. If you can't trust yourself, you need to trust in different ways to make your habits. Break the habits and find different ways. All right, guys, so wealth building June. Here's some ideas. You want to make a change. You are the only person that can make you be good with money. Honestly, you have to change your habits to change your life. Thanks for watching.